Hey, Knolly Williams here, the business healer. Now, you probably saw on YouTube recently, or maybe you saw it on Facebook, Instagram, somewhere, that my wife recently broke her leg. We're here in beautiful, beautiful Puerto Rico, and she had an accident. She broke her leg, so we're hanging out. We actually were supposed to be at a big conference this week that we're not going to be at, but it's okay because I'm right here with you, able to do this video. And this video is all about value proposition. You know, Jim Rohn, the late great Jim Rohn, said that we get paid in direct proportion to the perceived value that we bring to the marketplace. So if people aren't perceiving the value that you bring, you're not going to get paid what you're worth. That's the bottom line. And if you want to make more money, you've got to create more perceived value in the marketplace. It's that simple. It's very easy. Now, one of the things that I was blessed to have done very recently was we just finished up my Knolly Coaching Club. We just finished up a 10-part, that's right, 10-part series all about how to create your value proposition. And there's actually 7 items of value that the students created in the class right there. It's a workshop, okay? Now, if you want to get in on the workshop, this is the same kind of training that you usually pay thousands of dollars for. But you can get the whole training for $1. That's right, for $1. All you've got to do is be a member of Knolly Coaching Club, and the training's free, but you become a member for $1. It's $1. If you love it, you pay $97 a month, you stay in, but you get 30 days of access for $1. Okay, so go to knollycoaching.com and check it out so you can get the full series. But in this video, I'm going to break out the concepts, some of the psychology around your value proposition and why it's so important that you articulate it, you understand it, you create it, and it's going to help you. Trust me, it's going to help you stand out from the so-called competition every single time. All right, now if you like this video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what kind of IOVs or items of value that you're creating to create more of a value proposition in your business. Leave that in the comments down below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because I need more subscribers today. Go ahead, click it, subscribe. All right, I love you. All right, let's check it out. Today what we're going to be talking about is your value proposition, teaching your prospects to trust you. That's what we're talking about today. And we're going to do that through what I call the top 10 list. Now, before we do, I just want to remind you of a couple of basic things. Number one, you know, I like to teach the 3-hour workday and then, of course, success with listings. Both of those are going to be very important no matter what career you're in. Remember, not everyone here is in real estate. You guys are business leaders, entrepreneurs, real estate agents, and some in even other fields. So Proverbs 10:22 says, the blessing of the Lord brings wealth without painful toil for it. And I like the NLT version of that as well, no sorrow with it. Now, my promise is that you will leave every weekly session with a new strategy, idea, or mind shift that will elevate your business so you can spend more time doing what it is that you love. The format is 5 minutes of announcements, Uncle Knolly just sharing with you. And I got to learn to keep that to 5 minutes. I just love hanging out with my family, so sometimes I get a little windy. 20 minutes teaching, and then I want to have 30 minutes for coaching. So my goal is that once we hit the 30-minute mark every week, you know, we're 30 minutes into the hour. I can just open it up for coaching you guys on anything that you want to be coached on. The 3 types of freedom you guys know I preach is financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. And if you don't have all 3 of those freedoms, in my opinion, you're not really free. Okay, you could be making a ton of money, but you're working all the time and you're glued to a desk. That's not freedom, in my opinion. So 3 types of freedom. This is you inside your business. We've talked about this before. You're in the maze. You're in the weeds. You're in the day-to-day grind. You're in the hustle. But what Uncle Knolly wants to do is get you above the maze so that you can see clearly. And I do that through the 3-hour workday. Okay, you get to basically prioritize 2 things in your life that you're focused on. And by the way, this is part of my 3-hour workday. Okay, I'm going to work 3 hours today. I worked about an hour and a half, 2 hours yesterday, and this is just my life now. So
You got to dial it in though. So at the beginning, um, you know, you're going to be having a time block of 3 hours that are focused on dollar productive activities, the most dollar productive activities. But eventually, as you advance, you're going to get it to the point where you just work 3 hours a day, if that's what you choose to do. Now, even if you work 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day, you're going to still use the 3 hour workday, because you're going to take 3 hours of your workday and make them ultra productive. That's where you're going to create your income, your money. Those are going to be your $1,000 an hour, hours. Okay. Now we meet every Thursday. It's 9 o'clock Pacific, 11 Central, and noon Eastern. And you guys are test driving for you test drive for $1. When you start your subscription, you get 30 days to hang out with me. If you love it, just stay. It's $97 a month, or you can do the annual plan. And if you don't love it, don't waste your money. Uncle Knolly does not need your money, and I don't want to take money from you if you're not getting value. Okay. Now, the book of the month is Your Wish is Your Command. Okay. Powerful. And I did realize that the previous link that I put out there was taken down. So I did add a new link so that you can now download, thanks to my coach, Artemis. Thank you, Artemis. So you can now download all 10 or 12 lessons. Now, this is a book, but it's an audio book. Okay. And you can get that inside the portal. Okay. So with that, that's really the announcements that I had for you guys. I want to get into your value proposition. Okay. And by the way, if you have a comment or a question, put it there in the chat, and I'll make sure that I'm monitoring the chat here in a little bit. So our focus today is your value proposition. Okay. And many of you have not taken the time. So let me say it two ways. Number one, I'm going to say it this way. Some of you have taken the time to create a great value proposition. So with that, you might be thinking, man, I already know that. Okay. What I encourage you to do is come here with beginner's mind. Think about yourself as a 6-month-old baby and know nothing. Okay. When I embark on every new day, I embark on every new day with what I call beginner's mind. I know nothing. I've been reborn that day. Today is and by the way, Josie and I do this affirmation every morning before we get out of bed. We basically say today is the first day of the rest of our life. This is the first day. So we literally treat it like we were just born again, like we were just born today. And so if you feel like you know something, don't disregard it like, man, I already know that, because you're going to get wisdom and a nugget that you didn't consider, or a new perspective. Okay. The Holy Spirit will drop it on you. Now, the second thing is, some of you have not taken the time to really build the right foundation. And so you're not seeing the kind of traction that you should be seeing. Some of you guys I've been working with for 2 years, a year, 3 years, and you may not be seeing the kind of traction, or maybe you haven't been working with me and you've been in business for 10 years, 15 years, 5 years. Maybe you just started in business, but you're not seeing the kind of traction. Raise your hand if you feel like things are not moving fast enough. You're like, I need to be moving faster. I need more success. This is not happening. This is too slow. And let me just say this. This is very important. I want you to write this down. Slow is the fastest way to get rich. Okay? Slow is the fastest way to get rich. So many people want me to teach them how to become a lottery millionaire. I've done that. I became a millionaire when I was 29 years old, and I lost all of it. I lost it all. Okay. Couldn't hold on to it. I didn't have a millionaire mindset. That's what I'm creating, helping you create, is the millionaire mindset. Because if you don't, it's like Jim Rohn says, if you get $1 million, you best become a millionaire up here real quick, or it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone real fast. So the value proposition is something that's super important for you to have in your business. And the first thing I want to start with is I want you to teach people how to trust you. Okay. You teach your prospects how to trust you. This is very, very, very important. And I think it's very overlooked because I coach, you know, real estate agents, entrepreneurs, business leaders that have been, I coach people that are successful. And many of them don't really even have a value proposition. Okay. So they're making it more difficult for them to gain confidence from the client. Now, years ago, just think about way back on the ranch, okay? And you saw you were out there by yourself. Maybe you had 80 acres, 120 acres, whatever it was, 500 acres. And you had your ranch and you always had people trying to do what? Steal from you, okay? So you didn't trust anybody. You had cattle rustlers, you had thieves. Yeah, I'm going cowboy with it, but just bear with me here. You had all these people that were trying to take what was yours. This is the way that our ancestors were raised, guys. I'm talking 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, 300 years ago. Do you realize that even 300 years ago, most people couldn't read or write? Okay, so even reading and writing is a relatively new phenomenon. That's why Scripture says faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. You know, faith comes by hearing because back then people didn't read. It didn't say faith come by reading. Nobody could read back then. So it said faith comes by hearing. Okay. If you had somebody coming up to your ranch, the first thing you did was I'll tell you the first thing you did. You grabbed your pistol and you grabbed your long arm. Okay. Your rifle. That's the first thing you did. It wasn't even like you were being mean. Now people come up to your door, you're just like, get out of here. I ain't buying nothing. But back then you just get your rifle. That's just the first thing you did. Now you didn't point it at them. Okay. You just had it either on your shoulder or you had it pointed down like that. Okay. And the first thing you wanted to know was this one question: friend or foe? Friend or foe? That's all you wanted to know, okay? Now, fast forward to 2022, we're still the same, okay? The only things that have changed with us is the tools. The sapiens race, which we are part of, the sapiens race, okay, has not changed for millennia. Okay, so your brain is we're smart. You're not no smarter than your ancestors. Okay, you just happen to have a computer and you shower every day. Okay, that you got a few things going for you, but you ain't no smarter than them. When we've looked at their brains, it's the same. In fact, if anything, our brains are probably diminished over time. We're probably dumber. Okay, just put it that way. So with that, whenever you come up to someone to sell, okay, and write this down, even if you know it already, nobody wants to buy, or everybody wants to buy, scratch that, everybody wants to buy, nobody wants to be sold. Okay, everybody wants to buy, nobody wants to be sold. So when you go to sell, the first thing that they do is they grab their sidearm and their long arm, they point it down, and they're sizing you up. Okay, because they're trying to figure out, can I trust this person? Can I trust her? Is she trustworthy? That's all they're doing. Is he good? Is he good? Is he trying to get me? Right? So there's a couple of things that you can do to overcome that right away. It's very important because if you don't overcome that, people do business with who? People they what? You guys already know.
Like and trust.
They know, like, and trust. There you go. They know, like, and trust. So what we're talking about here is, number one, you got to get them to know you. All right. Then you got to get them to like you. And then, of course, you got to get them to trust you. We're going to go straight to trust with this. And I'm going to teach you some methods in the coming weeks on how to get them to know you before you ever meet them. Okay. I'm going to teach you all those strategies. But this is something that I do all the time. Most of you, you don't even realize that Uncle Knolly has done this to you. But when you come to me, Patty Lynn will tell you, she talks to you guys all the time, and they say, hey, when you meet, like, how long have you known Knolly? How long have I known Knolly? Man, let me see. I've known him for years. I mean, I had one lady, she told me, I know she's on the call. She said, Knolly, don't get this wrong, but I went to bed with you every single night for like 2 years. I was like, oh no, hold on a minute. Let me tell me about this. She said, yeah, every single night. My husband can tell you, I had Uncle Knolly playing, had you under my pillow. I would be playing YouTube videos would put me to sleep. So the thing is, that's something that before you guys ever join Knolly Coaching Club or join Mentorship Masters, okay, if you're in my Mentorship Masters group, you knew me before you joined me, most of you, okay, and if you join through someone else, that might not be the case, but it's very important. So the way you do this is the way I do it is with a top 10 list. Okay, you give people reasons to trust you. Now, what you're doing is you're teaching your prospects to trust you. So there's a couple things you're going to do. Number one, you're going to assure them verbally. Okay. And I'll tell you how that looks. So Jacqueline Barnes is on with me, right? Yeah. Okay. So Jacqueline, I'm working with Jacqueline, and I want to sell her house, right? And so Jacqueline I can tell by the way she's looking, and she's like and as I'm, okay, so when I'm selling, I'm quote running game. That's what we used to call on the street. We running game. Now, in truth, we're telling the truth, but it's still, it's a dog and pony show. When you slide up now. Again, Uncle Knolly's being real with you. This is Knolly Coaching Club. It's not YouTube, right? So this is behind the scenes stuff. So when you go to, let's say you go to meet with a prospect or a client, and you drive up and you pull up in front of their house, and you get those little butterflies, right? And it's a listing, and it's on, right? It's about to go down, right? And that all they're going to be doing is deciding whether they like you, they can trust you. Okay, then they're going to want to, if they can get to know you. That's all they're going to be doing, right? So one thing that I do, it's a technique that I've used. I don't do it right away, but I'll say, like, if I'm sitting down with Jacqueline and we've been sitting down for about 5 minutes, I'll say, Jacqueline, I hear the question that you just asked and I acknowledge it. Okay, and I'm going to answer that question. But what I really hear you saying, Jacqueline, is, can I trust this guy? He walks up in my house, got a big old cowboy hat on. He's grinning from ear to ear. I don't know him. I don't even know if I can trust him. I kind of like him, but I'm not sure I can trust him. Is that more or less what you're thinking? And usually the person, if they're honest, and they're usually honest, they say, ha ha ha, they laugh, they say, that's exactly what I'm thinking. So I say, Jacqueline, let me assure you of this. I'm trustworthy and you can trust me. That's it. Done. Okay. I just gave them permission to trust me. It's that simple. Okay. I say, Regina, I know you've gone through a hard time. You've been through a lot family wise. You've been going through a lot of stuff, and you've been burned in the past, and you're wondering, is this just another one of those guys that's just going to take me for a ride? And I'm here to tell you, Regina, I'm not going to do that. I'm trustworthy and you can trust me. Done. That's it. That's all I got to say. Okay. So I've just given, see, Regina's like, okay, yeah, okay. So now I have Regina's trust, and I have to, basically I have to do something to derail the trust, but I do have it. So I've just gained it that quickly. Now, you remember back in school when you went to class, and in some classes you got in with 100% and you had to kind of like ding yourself to get demoted, like little by little. So you started off with an A and you could earn a D. But in some classes, the teacher would say, look, you're starting here at 0. You got to work your way up. Okay. So this is what we're talking about. So you basically, if you tell somebody that you're trustworthy and that they can trust you, it sounds weird and awkward at first. Man, I'm not going to tell somebody they can. Yes, it's very important to do that. Okay. It sounds weird and awkward, but it works. So that's the first thing you want to do. Secondly, you want to put it in writing. Okay. So you want to tell them to trust you. And then obviously you want to always over deliver. That's another, we'll talk about that later. But you want to do a top 10 list, and then you want to show them your results. Okay. We're going to talk about that next week, because next week, what I've planned for you guys next week is I'm going to show you how to get 5-star reviews. You know, I have over 160 5-star reviews. And I just started that particular page like 18 months ago of getting reviews. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that as well. But for today, we're just talking about getting the verbal across and then putting it in writing. Okay. Now, to put it in writing, we talked about this. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. And let me read this here. Let's read this together. There's a fundamental rule in business that states people do business with people they know, like, and trust. We've all heard that and even repeated it, but ultimately it is wrong. Okay, maybe wrong is not the word, but the rule is incomplete. The truth is, people do business with people they know, like, trust, and value. That's very important for you guys to understand that. That's why your value proposition is important. It says honesty and likability are important, but if people don't see you as valuable, they will never do business with you. Okay, even if they like you. Okay, if you don't come across as professional, knowledgeable, and credible with the right skill set and to get the job done, you will never be as influential and successful as you would like to. And by the way, I'm going to share these slides with you, and if you click on this, it's going to take you out to the full article where you can read more about, that. I think it's great to read that article. So what you want to do is you want to make a list of reasons why folks should trust you. Okay, and I call it the top 10 list.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hey, I want to invite you out to Knolly Coaching Club. That's right. The Knolly Coaching Club is where I'm able to teach, train, and coach you every single week to your ultimate greatness. Now you can join for just $1. Go to knollycoaching.com and I'll see you on the inside.